Hey y'all, I wanted to stop in here. I found a good example of a couple plants that we will continue to monitor and use throughout the year and learn more about. And there's two of them here, actually. We have down in this way, we have what is called Creeping Charlie, which, if we look at the flowers, they have the hood on top and they have the purple hue, and you see that shape. So we want to look for that, and then we want to look for these rounded leaves with the rough edges. Now, the other one that's here is this. Oh, here's a better example. This is called purple dead nettle. And when we look at it, it has the same exact shape flowers. And that's because these are all part of the wild mint family. So by looking at this is purple dead nettle. This stuff is Creeping Charlie. Purple dead nettle is awesome. I use it a lot, like you would spinach and cook it into your, soups, stews, stir fries, really anything like that. It's pretty tasty stuff. Used medically, it does a lot of things: antifungal, antibacterial, anti-inflammation. It's high in vitamin C, so many things. This Creeping Charlie, that also is extremely medicinal. And that, it doesn't eat as good, it's not as tasty. You could cook it, it's not bad by any means, but it does everything from ear infections to congestion to lung issues to bronchitis, things like that. And both of these to be made into just tea for those purposes. So there alone, we have two separate wild mints. There's a third one that's called henbit. And we don't have an example of that right here, but when I find some, I will show you so we can tell the difference. The nice bit is these three, the purple dead nettle, the Creeping Charlie, and the third are all edible, all useful. So this is a very safe one to study. So check it out, purple dead nettle, Creeping Charlie, and check out henbit when you get the chance. The leaves are the easiest way to tell the difference between heart-shaped, round edges, and then we don't have a henbit to show you here, but we got that beautiful purple hearts up on top. If we see this plant without the purple, that's regular stinging nettle. This is dead nettle, and they call it that because it doesn't sting you. Extremely medicinal. Do your research, try these things out. There's magic and medicine everywhere. Here's another one to show you guys. Mind you, we're just in a city park, nothing special. Whereas out here in a city park, looking at what's growing around here, we got this bush. It's growing under the shade of another tree, but you see by these leaves, they almost look like a maple leaf. And they have, when they're really young, they have these red shoots. This is a high bush cranberry bush, so these will produce cranberries. This one might be a European cranberry. I'm not great at knowing the difference between them, just I know my low and my high bush, and that's basically it. But obviously cranberries are edible, right? You never know what's right there, right next to you. We walk by this stuff every single day. You can learn about it, check about it. It's one of those things. If you get the chance, get on Google and get her found up. Right, Luna? Yeah. So much. Do a dance. Want to do a dance? No dance? Okay. I found another one, guys. So we've already seen our purple dead nettle and our Creeping Charlie, which we have both of those growing right in here. But what I want to show you is this. This is another thing that we will study during the year. It'll have these extremely red stems. The leaves come up, they're alternating as you see. They are never directly across from each other. They're kind of staggered off. It'll produce a very vivid yellow flower that's really bushy. It's hard to mistake. It is antifungal, antibacterial. It's used for things like shedding excess water, kidney stones, UTI, things like that. It's also a really amazing smelling one, and it will come back every year in these bigger and bigger bushes, and it's great for your pollinators. This one, I believe, it's too early for me to tell, but I believe this to be Canadian goldenrod. Do a dance, do a dance, do a dance, do a dance. Okay, I found a couple more I want to show you guys. This is broadleaf plantain. It will produce a stalk flower later, and the stalk gives it away very well. But there are not many that look like this. Easiest way to tell that it's broadleaf plantain is to pinch at the base and pull up. And you'll see it leaves all these fibers. Those fibers, as you see, run all the way up the length of the leaf. These can be pretty bitter and they're pretty tough because of those stems. But I like to take them and I chop them this way, and again I use them like I would spinach. I go into soup, stew, stir fries, things like that. Everything arboreal is useful, and again, this is one of those things that is antifungal, antibacterial. It pulls physical contaminants out of wounds. This is this and purple dead nettle, creeping Charlie, something along those lines are my go-to for healing minor wounds and burns. Broadleaf plantain, and there is a narrow leaf plantain. Definitely worth some research, and we'll go over that later in the year, and we'll sit down and we'll look through the book and get in depth. The other one I want to show you quick, which again, it's everywhere, is this. This is clover. Edible. This is white clover. You can see the lip on it. Red clover also has something similar, but red clover grows a lot bigger. This is white clover, and the flowers taste like honey. And that's because clover flowers are used for honey more than any other flower. So when we smell that, it tastes like honey. So really amazing stuff. Again, the leaves are edible. You can cook them, they go into salads. The flowers are edible. Makes great medicine, although I tend to use red over white for medicine. My white is usually used for food because the red has more medicinal quality, where the white is more redundant. There's more just of it everywhere. All right, we'll keep wandering and see what else we can find. So same park, guys. As you see, it's not that overgrown, right? Yet we're finding all these things just right there around trees, in the middle of the grass. We came up to this fence line. This is the edge of the park. I wanted to show you a few awesome ones. These are forget-me-nots. They will come back every year and they spread. They are used medicinally, but this is one of those things I'm not going to even give you advice on because it's pretty contested stuff. So you really need to do your research before you even touch this stuff. You know, it's great for your pollinators. It smells delicious, and like I said, they'll just come back every year. So once it's planted and established, it'll just keep growing. And you know, they're really pretty. They smell nice. They're just a really nice plant. We've got more of the creeping Charlie up here, and I wanted to show you again. So goldenrod, right? Those big long spear-shaped leaves. And at the base we have the red stems. So that's what we've got going on there, is another goldenrod. This plant here is pretty cool. It's big, long. It has really no spikes on it. There's a few, but you know how raspberry bushes have like the thorns kind of all over? This is mostly lacking them. And you see that super red, almost brown. And then it has these leaves of 3, and they're super spiky. And so it looks a lot like what you'd imagine raspberries. And that's because that is a blackberry bush. And so later in the year, I have a spot where we can go and we'll be able to compare the two over and over and over again. That way it's very easy to see what's what. Hey Luna, let's keep moving. Hey, I wanted to show you guys again, we've got goldenrod, and we've got a few like this. This is a lookalike for goldenrod. You see how it has the same looking tips, but it has literally no red on it, where that has a slight red base coming up. But what I want to stop here and show you is this St. John's wort, because this thing is much more established than the other one. And here we can see that vivid red stem I was trying to show you guys on the other ones. But yeah, that's where we'll start out. Okay, we found yet another one. This has a lot of different names, but I usually just call it Cal, but it's got a bunch of different names. And it's, I only ever use it externally for wounds and scrapes and things like warts, things like that. But I do know it's used internally with a lot of medicines. That's beyond my knowledge, so I cannot advise you there. But it's definitely worth a look. It does produce these beautiful flowers. It has a very hairy stem, but they're not spikes. They have these awesome shaped leaves where it's kind of like a maple, but they're rounded out, and they have these 2 little extra limbs on the bottom. Really nice. They're super soft, super delicate. The bottom of the leaves have a light hair to them, where the top is smooth. And here we go. You guys remember which one this one is? We got those spear tips, slightly jagged edges. At the base we have that red. So that is all goldenrod. There's so much stuff right under our feet. We don't have to go very far or look very far. We're right here, and it's literally everywhere. All right, guys, we're actually near the edge of the park, as you can see, so it's gonna be a little loud, but I wanted to show you this. This plant is one you'll see coming up, and we're gonna study it later in the year. This is called vetch. It's one of the oldest cultivated plants by mankind. Do you see how round these leaves are? We'll compare these to the right ones. This is called crown vetch. And these are basically wild beans, wild peas. And basically, crown vetch is toxic, cow vetch is edible. And how we tell the difference is we can't eat a crown, but we can definitely eat a cow. So this is crown vetch because it has that more oval, rounded out leaf. And I'll show you the difference when the time comes, but that's one of the ones that we're going to watch for. It's called vetch. Okay, so we've already learned about our vetch, but I wanted to show you this while we're down here. Do you see these bright white, and they have these leaves of 3, that red fuzzy stem? Those are wild strawberries, so they're already blossoming. Yep, those red and then the white, and they will always have these white 5 with the stigma in the middle, all the yellow in the middle there. And yeah, they kind of grow all over the place. They'll shoot these vines out, and then like there, another part of the vine, and then they shoot it out, and you know, they spread like that. It's really, really interesting stuff. They're very hardy, and they're kind of everywhere. Do a dance. You do a dance? Do a dance. Do a dance. Do a dance. No, I don't got it. I threw it. It's over there. All right, well, I wanted to pop back in here, guys, and show you these. These are just common violets. And if we look at them, they have these 4 main petals. And 2, there we go, they overlap. You see how they're just kind of layering over each other? This is really good stuff for medicine, and it tastes really good. It's one of those things, I don't know all the details off my head, so I'm not going to give you any of those right here yet, because I don't have my book with me. But if you take these and mix them with just sugar, you get this awesome, like, sugar with like a more fragrance to it. But yeah, they're really, really neat things. They're also used a lot in like lemonades. There's just a whole bunch, and it just looks like normal overgrowth of, you know, just nothingness. In reality, it's all food and medicine and herbs and all sorts of things. These are all violets. All violets. There's so many of them. Right, Luna? So, thanks for checking in this video, guys. We'll do another one of these when I get to a place that's a little more wild. You'll see a lot more of these videos out throughout the year where Luna and I will be out in the woods, and we'll be going over everything we see over and over and over again, so that way we can learn through repetition. I appreciate you all being here, and I can't wait to do some more. Thank you for stopping in. Be kind to each other. If we don't, then no one will.